Champion wrestler Vinesh Phogat joined the Congress party. Now remember, Vinesh has been in the headlines for many weeks now, many months now as a matter of fact, from the wrestlers' protest at Jantar Mantar all the way to the heartbreaking proceedings at the Olympics. She hasn't left the headlines even for a moment. But now, with her big plunge into active politics and possibly a role in the upcoming Haryana election, Vinesh once again finds herself at the center of a political flashpoint. Her supporters say this was the logical next move. As a politician, she gets to effect real change in the country. Her critics and rivals of the Congress party say, "We told you so." Everything that Vinesh did was merely political. So let's kick off the Democratic Newsroom this week. With me this week, Akshita Nandagopal, Gaurav Sawant, Preeti Chaudhary, Nabila Jamal and Rahul Kamal will also be joining us in just a moment. Let me kick things off with Preeti. Preeti, there had been speculation for a while that Vinesh was going to take the political plunge. Today, all those debates, all that speculation ends. She's taken the big dive. What do you think? And what would you also say to those who say, ye sab to political hi tha?
You know, I think as a country and as politicians, we need to keep both the issues very, very separate. The charges of sexual harassment and her entering politics. Attack her as a politician, but I think it's utterly shameful, disgraceful for anyone to come out and say that this was politically motivated in terms of when she sat along, not herself, along with the other wrestlers on Dharna at Jantar Mantar, where she charged Bhushan, Saran, who was a 6-time BJP MP, of sexual harassment charges. You've had the likes of the former Chief Minister of Haryana, Mr. Khattar. Sadly and unfortunately, you've had, where he's come out and said, "Ab to pata chal gaya," that it was all politically motivated. You've had Bhushan, Saran, who's broken his silence and saying, "Aapko pata chal gaya na," that all of this was politically motivated. I think the BJP doesn't understand how to deal with this, and why I say it, why it's utterly shameful. There's a case on in court, Shiv, and our viewers must understand that. There's a charge sheet which has been filed by the Delhi police, and I want to take our viewers on what the charge sheet states in the involvement of Bhushan Saran. The Delhi police filed the charge sheet against him, where they've accused him, they've said very clearly in court, the Delhi police has admitted that he sought every opportunity to sexually harass these wrestlers. The Delhi police today has charged Bhushan Saran under section 354 of the IPC, which is assault of criminal force to women with intent to outrage modesty. He's been charged under section 354A, sexual harassment, 354D, stalking, 506, criminal intimidation. These are the charges of the Delhi police framed on Bhushan Saran. I would like to ask each and every politician who's come out and said this was politically motivated, are you actually saying that the Delhi police was politically motivated to put these charges against Bhushan Saran? Because they did this after investigation, they did this after taking in account of 6 wrestlers. Vinesh Phogat was one of the 6 wrestlers. And this comes at the back, these charges come at the back of not so much of Vinesh Phogat's testimony to police. It comes at the back of 3 other wrestlers, 2, 1 written complaint and 2 which was in person. So I am amazed, because I think what we are doing as politicians and anyone who's questioning the sexual harassment charge, it's on in court. You are belittling every woman who has come out finally and spoken against power on sexual harassment by so blatantly and so easily brushing this off as sexual harassment. There's a charge sheet out there. It's not filed by Vinesh Phogat, it's filed by the Delhi police.
And Vinesh has said that her fight will continue. This is the next step in her journey, but that her fight, as far as the wrestlers' protest and the case is concerned, will of course continue. Rahul, the political aspect of it has led many to say that, like Preeti said, ye to sab political tha. What do you think?
So, morality, Shiv, unfortunately has no place in real politics. Outside the studio, outside of these television debates, whether it's the BJP or the Congress, they care very little for morality, unfortunately. The fact that Vinesh Phogat has joined the Congress is good news for the Congress, because her plight struck Olympic nerve across the country, particularly in Haryana. The Congress strategists think that they think this singular issue could help them win Haryana much bigger than they thought they were winning earlier. And the fact that for 10 years, all the key joinings that have happened have typically happened in the BJP. This Ganga has flown one way. XYZ prominent personality joining the BJP. Now you've got the Congress that milked it through the day. They knew Rahul Gandhi met with Vinesh and Bajrang, then Kharge and KC Venugopal. So they're milking it. Earlier you had a situation where one team had all the aces. They knew what game they were playing. The other team didn't even seem like they wanted to play, frankly. I mean, they kept going off for long holidays, didn't seem interested. Now you've got two teams that are engaged in mortal combat. And that's the difference. And that this is, the fact that since the moment she's come back, Dipender Hooda was at the airport to receive her. She's been meeting Rahul Gandhi and others in the Congress. I mean, that speaks for itself. We don't even need to go down that road. But given that she also got into an antagonistic relationship with BJP leaders, that's also natural. Whether she was always a Congress wala or not, I mean, who knows? Frankly, it doesn't matter. The fact is, she's fighting this political dangle. It is advantage Congress. If that alliance with AAP goes through, you've got these two wrestlers in the political mat. I mean, at this moment, it looks advantage Congress.
Gaurav, what do you think? Because even in her opening comments after joining the Congress today, Vinesh, while talking about it, did take very direct pot shots. She talked about the BJP IT cell. She talked about those who had called her a fuka hua kartus. And, she seemed unapologetic about this new avatar of herself as a neta.
So she's a wrestler. She's used to the rough and tumble, and now in the political rough and tumble, perhaps she'll have to get used to all the political barbs that come her way. She was on a pedestal when it comes to being an Olympian, a medalist, and now she'll have to take this, as par for course. Point one, the political barbs that come her way. But it's not just the political leaders, even Sakshi Malik. Sakshi Malik said, I got many offers. I didn't take those offers. For me, fighting for women is sacrosanct, and I want to fight for cleaning up the mess the way I am fighting it and not get this taint. What is the taint? If somebody considers it a taint, and I'm sure, none of us here do, now she was the Congress was riding piggyback on a movement. So she was fighting for justice. The Congress used her shoulder to fire a weapon and fired it very effectively. How effective would it be in elections, we'll know in a while from now. But the fact does remain, had it been apolitical, it would have been looked at differently. Brij, Bhushan, Saran Singh and several others say that this was a fight between Uttar Pradesh and Haryana in the Kushti Sangh. That was one way the fight was being taken. He's an accused. He's fighting it in a certain way. And there are some others who will then use this charge that the Congress was always backing it. Remember, the same thing was being said even about OROP when the protests were happening, that it was the Congress party that was backing all the protesters who were sitting at Jantar Mantar.
Also, Gaurav and Shiv, has she undersold herself politically? I mean, if you look at her as a political candidate, is it better for Vinesh Phogat to take up a Rajya Sabha candidature, which lasts for 6 years? She has a big pan-India role, and she can jump in on issues relating to women, sports.
Rather than being restricted to Haryana.
It suits the Congress politically to have Vinesh Phogat fight this assembly election. I mean, from the Congress's perspective, this is the best case scenario. From Vinesh and Punya's perspective, they may have been able to stitch a better deal where Punya fights the assembly elections and Vinesh says, I want to look Rajya Sabha election. Because that way they would have had one leg in the assembly and one in the Rajya Sabha. But these are wrestlers, they're not political tacticians, right? So did the Congress that was talked because they got all emotional and they spoke to her, did they outthink her? Is this to her advantage? Okay, so she wins potentially. She becomes, say, a minister also if that comes through. But she's a very local political factor. If she was in the Rajya Sabha and then there's a big story or something, she's straight where Brij, Bhushan, Saran Singh and everybody else. I mean, even though they're in the Rajya Sabha, she's fighting in a higher weight category.
At a national level.
Absolutely.